To order, could I have an acceptance of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harris. Do we have any walk-ins this evening? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to a discussion of vote of an outdoor entertainment permit at 24 Buttonwood Lane on 9/15/17. Katie Hess. Katie, come right up here. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
So my fiance and I are getting married in his parents' backyard.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a Friday night wedding, so it's set to, the ceremony will be at 5 p.m. in his next door neighbor's lawn at 26 Buttonwood. And then from there, cocktail, there'll be a tent, which I just got the permit for, and a band set to play, I think, from 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
But I was seeing if I could have the outdoor entertainment permit until 11 p.m.
And the band would stop at 10?
It would stop at 10, between 10 and 10:30, depending on the cocktail hour. The cocktail hour, yeah.
Okay. Have you talked to the neighbors? I mean, I'm sure some of them are invited.
They're all coming.
Yeah, that'll be
So,
easy enough then.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Don't you still have to send it out?
You do. Yes, did you get the butters notification? That was outlined on the application.
I did.
Okay, and you sent a letter out to the others.
Do I do that?
Yes.
Or, okay, so then I need to do that.
Yes.
But like I said, the majority of them are coming anyway, so, but I will do that.
Anybody have anything?
Answered my questions. Good. All set.
Motion?
Motion,
Move to
please.
grant an outdoor entertainment permit to Katie Hess for a band at a private wedding event to be held on September 15th, 2017 at 24 Buttonwood Lane from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Have fun.
Have fun. And we don't have a report tonight, right? No?
No, moving right along.
Well, okay, so we can move to the assignment, right? Okay.
I move that Articles 1 through 10 of the annual town meeting be granted to the chairman.
That's really nice of you.
Who's going to second that one for me? All right, well, I'll withdraw that motion.
Good.
Well, which ones
So pleased with himself.
do you typically do 1 through
4, I think, actually.
on the special? Do them all on the special?
Special and 1 through
Okay.
4.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to do them all, because we can, anyone can do them.
Right.
Yes.
Someone want to do the flood map? You feel comfortable doing all those? or-
Well, I mean, I can definitely do the flood map, the stabilization for golf is, budget reconciliation. I mean, I'm good. I mean, it's no big deal. I'll get with Nancy anyway but for the FY18 operating budget, that would be Article 4 of the annual.
So you're good through?
Yeah, I can help you with that too if you want,
Okay.
from financial side.
Unless you want to just...
Tony, why don't you do 2, a report of board and committees? How about that, kind of like a state of the state?
Okay.
Does that work?
So Marty will do 1 through 4 and on the
the
special,
special?
and then do the first one on the annual.
Isn't 2 just stating the reports? Tricia, that's not
Was
actually,
it an asking for reports, or?
No, it was exactly what you said earlier, sort of state of the town.
No, it's like the State of the Union.
Yeah.
do you want me to do that one?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who's doing number 1, Marty?
Marty's doing number 1. He's got the special, and then he's got
I got the 4
Article 1 of the annual. Tony, you're going to do 2?
Sure.
Capital improvements, Marty, do you want that, or that's just the capital plan, right?
Or I can do it on the liaison, whatever.
So we're just going to bounce a little bit?
Well, Marty, you can do,
you can do
yeah, you
whatever
can
ones you
do, you
want.
do whatever ones you want. You want to do capital and operating as the chair? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll have special 1 through 4,
Yep.
and then...
1, 3, and 4.
And then 1, 3, and 4. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Sean, do you want the 5 and...
I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever.
Enterprise
While I'm
funds?
up there, I'll just stay up there,
Yeah.
all right, rather than back and forth.
Just do
Doesn't
all the
matter to me.
enterprise funds.
I don't care. Perfect. 5 through 8? 5 through 9?
9.
2-9.
Yeah, 5 through 9.
All right. Stabilization fund, excess levy. That's the excess from last year? Or are we talking about the excess levy? Why am I missing
Anything
this?
that goes over the levy
Over the
goes into
levy
stabilization.
from last year, though, right? It's not this year. 'Cause we're
It would
not-
be the fiscal 18 levy.
Oh, for the future, that anything that goes over, then we kick it in.
Do you want me to do 10, 11,
We
and
don't know what
12?
it's going to be, but that's it. Gotcha.
Do you want me to do 10, 11, and 12? CPC will be long, big, yeah. But
Do you
I,
want to do,
I'll do CPC. Yeah, I'll do CPC.
So
I do
Mark-
10. And you can do, I mean, there's really not much to the,
I don't think, yeah.
Right.
do you want to do 12 through 16 more? Or do you want me to do, I don't,
and I'll just sit and do nothing for the whole night?
I'll do Article 15.
no, you do 12, you do the whole back end of that.
I'll do Article 15. That one I'd like to do.
Split mine in half.
Well, why don't you have her do,
Yeah, John should do 15. Right?
Yeah, I'll take Article 15.
Do you want 14?
Who, me? I was going to take Article 11, unless you guys want the CPC. I frankly, other than 15, I don't care what I got. That's the only one I wanted.
all right, why don't you do 12 through 16?
Okay.
So you'll have
Or do-
marijuana.
And Maura and I will split CPC. Or,
And then she can have a couple of enterprise funds if she wants. It doesn't matter to me,
That's fine.
so.
Who's doing 13?
Me. I'll take 12 through 16.
And who's doing
Did
11?
you say you wanted to do 3? Did you want to do capital?
I'm fine to do it. I'll
Yeah,
do whatever you
said
guys
you're
want.
liaison.
I am a liaison, yep.
Why don't we switch that one to you? So I'll do 1 through 4 and 1 and 4. Is that good?
Sure.
That gives you an extra one.
So Tony's doing Article 10, who's doing 11, 12, 13?
John's doing 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Who's doing 11 and 12?
Maura and I will do CPC.
Okay.
We can just pick whatever ones, or you can do them, I don't know.
And who's doing 12?
The two of them. Okay.
No, John. Looks like John's doing it, right?
On
The
12?
reconciliation.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, you're right, you're right. Two.
No, Tony.
We should go pretty quick, whoever, if you guys are up
Yeah.
for CPC, just do it. It's really quickly.
I'll do
Let's get rid
12.
of all this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's just the money going back.
I'll do 12.
And, I'm sorry, Tony, 11?
Yeah, Maura and I will switch, I mean, there's so many articles, so many things there.
Okay. And then John is doing 16, the revolving fund?
I'm doing 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Okay. So just, if I can, Mr. Chair, go through.
Sure.
Special town meeting, Articles 1 through 4 is Marty. Article 1 on the annual is Marty. Article 2, Tony. Article 3, Maura. Article 4, Marty. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is Sean. Tony is 10. Tony and Maura are 11. Maura is 12. John is 13, 14, 15, 16.
Closing it out, I'm the closer.
Sounds good?
Yep.
The moderator's meeting is at 2:30 on Thursday.
Can you go to that, Mark?
No.
Can anyone go to that?
I'm working out of town Wednesday and Thursday.
What, this Thursday?
2:30?
I'm not
Hang
here.
on, I think I might be able to. It's supposed to rain? Tell me it is.
Yeah, it'll rain, definitely.
Oh, shoot.
What's the relevance of that?
All right, let me see, I think I can do it. I gotta get my wife to cover some.
Again.
Today's the 18th, yeah, right.
Let's see what I can do.
Just got the date from him.
That's okay.
today.
If it was later, I could do it, but not 2:30. It's
Is
just...
that the
All right, do
only
me-
time you can do it, Trish?
Put me down, I'm trying to see what I can do to maybe get my daughter to the doctor's earlier, or we'll figure it out. I'll be there. 2:30?
I'm in Houston.
I'm in Baltimore.
So, can I segue into something that's related to that in terms of your availability for Thursday? Because Senator Markey is coming from 11:30 to 11:30 to 1:30, I'm sorry.
Right.
And I need to let them know who he'll be seeing.
I'm not available.
I'm involved, I'm out of town.
Okay, so when is he coming? Same time?
11:30
Yeah.
to 1:30.
Jim Campbell
I
texted
can
me over the
come
weekend.
for a little bit. What is it going to be exactly? Are we going to do a tour?
Right now, depending on when he arrives, he's going to go see the Ocean Drive, Side Drive seawall, but then the bulk of his visit is at the EOC for a discussion with Anne Marie.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So he'll be here no later than noon. He has a hard stop at 1:30.
Maybe we can overlap on that. I'll be there, I'll be here for some of it.
That'll be good.
All right, so
I'll be
he's-
here for 11:30 anyways. I'll be here
It's
for,
tough, you know?
Okay.
Okay, so when's he
I have
coming?
a-
He's coming from when to when?
He's coming
12 to 1?
11:30 to 1.
Okay, and they're going to Oceanside, and then, I'm sorry, I was trying to put everything on the calendar. When,
Going to
Then-
Oceanside, quick
It's 2
visit to
pages.
see the new
Yep.
seawall.
And then down to-
Representative Campbell really wanted, and then we're going to go to the EOC, and we're going to talk about the opioids,
okay,
since our grant isn't the last year.
okay, good. Let me see what I can do.
All right, it was great to have the meeting. And again, both of these dates I got today, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we set on all the articles?
I'm good, yes, I think we are.
Everybody's good? All right. Wow, running a little bit ahead here.
Mr. Chair, I asked Mr. Banger to come early, since you're ahead, so.
Oh, good. Come on up, Al.
We're going to skip Nancy.
Mr. Chair, can I ask,
Great.
Mr. Chair, can I interject again? I think this happened last year as well. Are we on record of voting in favor or not in favor of our warrants yet, our articles? I don't think we are.
I haven't voted on them yet, we got to...
But we need to, don't we need to do, isn't this our last meeting before,
To support or not support?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
In terms of board votes. So that's what you were asking me, Lorraine, last week. And
Yeah.
Marty, right?
Right, yeah.
So-
Only because on the memo, you had said we were going to vote on them on the 29th of March, and we hadn't. That's why I questioned it.
So, I mean, you can vote to do that. I thought the question was when you vote to put all the articles on the warrant. That's what, and I misunderstood, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But when...
Can we do that, though?
But when you did that, I believe the votes were unanimous except for
One of them,
one
right.
of them, and you did vote all that at your last meeting. You were on record, Marty, as voting against Article 14.
Yeah, I don't know if we did an official vote, but I voted against one of the articles.
You didn't do an official vote?
No.
Nope.
No.
Same thing happened last year.
So,
Are we okay doing one tonight? I don't want to, I mean,
you can do it. So,
should we just run, want me to just run through the articles and everybody will vote? How do we do that? I can't remember.
But that would be okay, I would think. I'll write down the list.
Yeah?
so you voted to place all the warrant articles on the warrant.
We already did
And
that,
so
yeah.
you were in favor of all of them except that one. So you can represent that, and I would just do a vote on Article 14.
Okay.
Okay?
so did we do, I wasn't at the last
No,
meeting.
it's
so is that
Article,
what-
it's Article 15, not 14.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm sorry,
okay.
Maria.
No, that's all right. I mean, is everybody good with Article 14 now that you bring that up?
The marijuana one?
Yes.
For the
Yeah, it's our article, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would go to the planning board.
I'm just asking a question, just want to make sure. Sorry, Al. A little preemptive here. All right, so on Article 15,
You know, let's back up.
Yeah.
Since you don't have a vote for this, you should just vote it the night of town meeting.
that's fine.
All right, just Article 15. I'm very confident that when you voted to put all the warrant articles on, and those were all unanimous, so, well, Tony wasn't here, but I think you were in favor of...
I'm in favor of all of them, so.
Right.
So, Lorraine, could you put an agenda item for the meeting, the night of town meeting, to have them vote Article 15? Yes. Then you'll be proper.
Well, that's what I want to make sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So is there an opportunity to discuss? There really isn't. like, I don't know why you're against 15, so I'm interested to hear that.
Okay.
But can we do that tonight, or?
Sure, because it says warrant articles for special town annual meeting.
discuss
and
any
discuss any outstanding
items
items preparation, so that's preparation.
Right.
And we had the public hearing at the last meeting.
Yes,
As
about
required, yeah.
It's just, in my opinion, that I just think there's some things that need to be done prior to doing this, that's all. I just think I think eventually, I just think we're just a little bit sooner than what we should be, as far as the position, you know? Meaning, I think that the money could be, at this time, better spent at a lower level versus putting another position in place.
At a lower level in the planning department?
Or just within town hall, within the different departments where there's some struggle on help, you know? So that's my opinion.
So you think instead of this, we should use that money to hire like 2 admin people or something?
People that are, instead of somebody actually overseeing the people that are doing the work, I think we need more people actually doing the work than not that that person isn't doing work, that's not what I'm trying to say, so.
Any departments that you're thinking?
There was a few, yeah.
But we met with every department and no one really said anything.
Right, and the other thing is, and we have other changes happening within the building, and I'd like to see how that goes first as well, so.
Okay, I don't know if I know what you're talking about, but we'll... All right, anyone else feel that way? Did I miss any other conversation about it?
It's just me.
No, I mean, there is additional money being added to the planning department for feet on the street, so there is additional funds in there. So I'm
Right.
fine with it. I think it's much needed, just to share my view
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's much needed to bring together all our development.
Yeah, I'm not going to go what I said the last time, but I just, this is a discussion that we've been talking about for a number of years, and I gave attribution to Rick Murray, who talked about it a number of times during our retreats, and I just see the value of it. There's so much going on, and this person is the hub for a lot of that information from various departments, and I just think it's a key position that will take the town into the future and resolve certain things, because there's all these questions that abound about use of this and this and this and that, and you're really kind of like pulling it all together instead of having individual silos all over the place. This pulls it together. That's
And it's going to include conservation,
building,
include building, planning, and
CPC?
Nancy.
EDC, and also Nancy's position with coastal resources, it just pulls all those departments into, and then you get building, you get the sewer, you get the water, all these issues that just kind of get subsumed underneath it, so that's how I see it.
And last week, we also had the backup of the other towns that had this position already. There were towns our size and smaller, and our neighbors, so,
That's a good point.
Yep.
And not that if the other towns are doing it, we need to do it, or if the other towns charge more for something, we need to increase, rates or whatever they are. But, seemed to make sense to me.
Great.
Okay. Al?
Thank you. I'm here to request that you award a contract tonight for a construction contract for the removal of the Hunters Pond Dam and the restoration of Bound Brook in North Scituate. 2 sentences of background. Hunters Pond, as you know, is formed by the dam on Bound Brook on Mordecai Lincoln Road. There's a bridge, and then adjacent to that is a dam. The town doesn't own the actual concrete spillway nor the pond, but the earthen berm on which the road is laid is the town's responsibility. And also through that earthen berm is a collapsing culvert, which prevents us really from doing an effective job of maintaining the road. So we need to replace the culvert at the very minimum. In addition, there's a pre-1930 unlined cast iron water main that runs on the bottom of the pond. That's prone to leaking, and it is one that's targeted for replacement as part of the water main replacement project. So in 2012, the town obtained grants from the Gulf of Maine Council to examine removing the dam, repairing the fishways, restoring the brook as a fish habitat, whatever. A project team was formed. We got proposals together, hired an engineering firm, Princeton Hydro, who was selected among some state-approved ecological restoration engineering firms. The neighborhood has been invited to kickoff meetings in January of 13 and in February of 15. Additionally, they've been kept informed with several letters and face-to-face meetings. Additional grants have been obtained now to move forward with actual construction or removal of the dam and restoration of the river. Restoration of the river will open up 5 miles of fish spawning habitat all the way up into Cohasset. Bids were let for this construction project, and they were open on April 4th. We received 3 good responses. The first response, the lowest response was from T. Ford Company out of Georgetown, Massachusetts for $329,850. Sumco Ecological Contracting, LLC, bid $376,036.44, and Aqualine Utility bid $428,309. The engineering firm Princeton Hydro reviewed all these responses, interviewed the references that were provided by this low bidder, T. Ford, and they concluded that T. Ford is an experienced and responsible contractor capable of executing this project to the specifications required in the numerous permits that we've had to obtain. Additionally, our project partners, which is NOAA and the Mass Department of Ecological Restoration, have all had positive experience with this T. Ford, who, among other things that they do, they've removed a number of dams in Massachusetts, and they're happy with their work. Funding is provided by grants from the Mass Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs and by the U.S. Department of Commerce, NOAA. They are project partners and have a hand in everything we do in this project. And then additionally, there is money being provided by the Town of Scituate Water Main Replacement Project, $47,000. It's interesting to note that the way these grants fit together, actually, we may end up not even having to contribute to this project because the federal grant can supplement the state grant, or the state grant can supplement the federal grant. And we still are well within the budget of the sum of the grants based upon how much you spend on engineering, permitting, and then finally on construction. So I recommend that you award the contract to the lowest qualified bidder, T. Ford Company. Construction work would begin in June and would be completed in late September.
Al, just for simplicity reasons, can you just, we were kind of talking about this before the meeting, just explain, what's going to happen when it's removed, just in simple terms, if you would.
Yes, actually, there's 3 parts to this project.
Okay.
One is that there's a culvert over near the barn that has a gate on it that looks like it was an old sluiceway. That was a overflow put in by the town in the 50s to reduce flooding in North Scituate. So that's a town-owned area, the culvert at the gate. Part 1 then is to replace that rusted-out culvert with a slip-lined pipe that is concreted in and goes all the way underneath the barn and discharges on the lower side. So part 1 is replace that culvert and the gate that goes with it. Part 2 is to replace the water line that's in the bottom of the pond with a new water line, a new proper water line.
In the same spot?
Huh?
Not in the same area? Move it to the road?
No, it'll be still in the pond. We've looked at putting it on the bridge.
Right.
But there's a lot of difficulty with that because there's just not enough clearances for the pipe to be laid low enough to then be out of the freeze zone.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
Because between the top of that culvert and the road is only this much room. So you couldn't get the pipe through there. The third piece of it then is to then remove that concrete spillway back to some abutments. And then what'll happen there is the first step will be to notch the dam so that the water will begin to filter through, the culvert will be replaced, then the rest of the dam will be removed, and the sediment that's in the stream will be transported down out into the estuary as it would have been since the 1600s anyway, when the dam was first built. Then additionally, we'll clean up the riverway with presumptions of there maybe did some discarded bicycles, barrels, who knows what's in there. So once it's dewatered, it'll be walked and cleared, and then it will naturally rehabilitate. And the rehabilitation will take place within as little as 6 months. Rehabilitation is probably not the right echo word, but,
We know what you
the
mean.
plant stuff will grow.
We're with you.
Yeah.
So basically go from a pond to a stream.
Yes, it'll be a riverine habitat. We've looked at several of them when we looked into this project to see what's it going to look like afterwards. It really looks like a nice stream through there. It will look like a nice stream.
Does the Bound Brook then go up across 3A, underneath 3A, and then go up through, like, all the west end that we have, and then Cohasset? Is that where the Bound Brook?
The Bound
Send
Brook,
them to Cohasset
Bound Brook goes underneath the railroad tracks at the North Scituate Station, and then goes underneath Henry Turner Bailey Road,
Yep.
and goes into a valley that's up between Henry Turner Bailey Road and Booth Hill Road,
Okay.
and then goes underneath Route 3A to the wetlands to the west of Route 3A,
Okay.
and then it does work its way on up
All the way up
into
to
the Aaron, I think it's the
reservoir.
Aaron Reservoir.
Gotcha. All right. That's
Oh,
real
okay.
interesting.
It crosses there, you know where they're replacing that bridge on,
Yes. On, Beach Street.
Beach Street, yeah. Yeah, our project will be a little less invasive
Oh, that's a
to
big
traffic.
project. Yeah.
Well, that will just, I would envision that they would just close that down, that section, just shut it right down, put a box culvert in. Big precast concrete structure and
Where is this?
on what, our project.
Lincoln.
They could just, couldn't they just close the street right, I mean, that's in the specs, I'm sure, but I would imagine they'd just close the street right off, make it a dead-end street.
You
Shut it
mean-
right off to traffic.
During
When they're
construction.
replacing.
Yes, right.
You mean during construction?
Right.
Yes, the construction zone will be the street.
Right, and just shut it right off until they place this new,
Exactly. So it'll be, actually, the residents on Mordecai Lincoln, one of the alternatives we investigated was just shutting off the street altogether permanently.
Oh, permanently.
Yeah, but that creates the problem, you need to have the supersized turnaround at the end
Right.
for fire trucks and probably school buses, and there just wasn't any topography in there for that. So, but during the period of construction, then, the street will be closed off so that they can get in there and work.
Great.
Yeah, Jim, a lot of people in the audience when you had these meetings and so forth, so there shouldn't be any surprises.
Neighbors, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Initially, a lot of shock and, oh my gosh, what could happen? But then, over time, it kind of wore in and people are happy with it. They actually gained some backyard, if you will.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
great, yeah.
And the pond, while it looks good several times of the year, or many a times a year, it's just not that attractive. It's got a big mound in the middle of it, so it's really not even a deep pond. I mean, there's an island that's formed in the middle through sediment, and
Yeah, we've been talking about it for quite a while, I remember.
It's a good thing. It's a good effort to try to renovate and bring back the natural flow of the Herring Brook. It's smart. It's a good thing.
it was almost taken out in the 30s, but then it was retained, the dam was retained to make ice, and that's why it's called Hunter's Pond, because the fellow who then, at that point in time, had responsibility for it, ran the Hunter Ice Company, I believe, and they would do the ice sawing and everything, and that's become a little bit obsolete.
Motion?
Yeah, please.
Move the Board of Selectmen vote to award the contract for the Hunter's Pond Dam removal and Bound Brook restoration, contract 17-HW-09, to the T. Ford Company Incorporated of Georgetown, Massachusetts, in the amount of $329,850 as specified in their bid response dated April 4th, 2017.
Second by Mr. Vignani. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Hey, Al, while you're here, can you comment on the water project? Do you know where we are on that?
The water
Front of my
pipes?
house.
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll ask Kevin next time.
Yeah. I know that they're working on the last round of it.
Yeah, they just jumped over from Barker and we're over on Maple House.
They're finishing it, I think, on Barker.
Yeah. Okay.
You're up, Nancy.
Yeah, but you're gonna skip till about.
What's that?
We're gonna skip till about.
Oh, so what? Oh, you're going to skip the interfund?
No.
Oh.
Toll Brothers? Are they coming in? I think they're coming in, right, Lorraine?
I
And
believe they are.
And we're running ahead, so I don't want to,
Nancy has a couple items she can do.
yeah, no, that's great, perfect. Yeah, no, that's,
So I'm
excuse me.
I'm pinch hitting for Pam tonight with an interfund borrowing that's before you, and it is for two projects, both Water Enterprise Fund projects. The first project is $88,000 for the purpose of SCADA at the wells, and we always talk about SCADA, and I can never remember what the acronym stands for, so I actually looked it up while I was waiting, and it's the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. So it just makes it so that we can actually communicate with our pump stations remotely, and also so that our pumps can be turned off and on by
Software.
thank you. So it's not all manual.
It actually sounds
It's
much
just
nicer when you say it out.
If you don't understand an acronym, it's always software.
Sean,
there we go.
We were in there, and they had the floppy disks that they were still using.
That's right, yep.
So we talk about SCADA a lot, but I'm like, I think people are like, what's SCADA?
Yeah.
And then the other one, and this is for SCADA at the wells, for the water enterprise. Usually it's SCADA for the pump stations at the sewer enterprise. And then the other one is $135,000 for the purpose of furnishing water finish pumps and VFD drives. And these were both approved at the April 2016 town meeting. And what will happen is if the board chooses to support this interfund borrowing, it will be replaced with a short-term borrowing in June, because we cannot go beyond the end of a fiscal year with an interfund borrowing in place.
Okay.
So the total is 223?
It is.
Motion?
Move the Board of Selectmen approve the sum of $223,000 from the Stabilization Fund to be used for Articles 4T and 4U from the April 14th, 2016 Annual Town Meeting as permitted by the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44.
Second.
Second by Mr. Vignani. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then I was going to skip to Plymouth County, so.
Nice.
Certainly. So, as you were already aware, the town of Plymouth voted not to recommend the county budget as it was proposed, and they have asked all the other communities in Plymouth County to take a better look at the county budget, and if they also feel that there are some things that need to be answered before this budget is voted on by the advisory committee for the county advisory board, then would they also consider taking a vote relative to the budget. I did go through the budget as I did last year and note a few things. I don't know if you want me to go over those items, Mr. Chair, or if you want to just discuss what Plymouth's issues were with the budget.
Really, the issues would be, I think that'd be more.
Sure. So Plymouth had issues specifically with the commissioner salaries. The commissioner salaries are proposed to go up 85% from $15,000 to $28,000.
Wow.
The commissioner salaries were at that level back in fiscal 2008, and then they were dropped by the advisory board to the lowest level they could, which was $7,500. They came back up for fiscal 14 to $15,000. They're currently at $15,050. And they're proposed to go up to $28,000. Plymouth also had concerns about some of the other increases in the budget. Most of the management, so department heads, are going up 5% next year, and then most of the staff is between 3% and 4%. When you look at them, they do give a listing of everyone's salary, and since I have last year's, I can compare. Just looking at where COLAs are, as you know, as from the contracts that have been approved in the town, COLAs run between 1% to 2.25%. They're really not at the 3% level. And looking at some of the surveys we've looked at in the last 2 years, there were 64 responses to a survey. Only 6 showed anything higher than that, which was a 3, which was the maximum. So 6 out of 64 responses were a 3. And they were 1 year out of a 3-year for 4 different communities. So those are just not the going rates currently or across the state. So they are higher than normal. I don't know why they're higher than normal. Is there a reason? Is it because they're not at market and they're trying to accomplish that? And I don't know why the department heads would be more than the rank and file. And the commissioners, that's a completely other discussion. I don't know why they're not being stepped up if they're trying to go back to that level, and why they're trying to do it all in 1 year.
This is absolutely uncalled for. This is absolutely one of the worst things that people on TV, if you're angry with government and you're angry with officials, this is something you should be really irate about. Ruth, I hope you report this. Their budget for the county commissioners is $10 million. Our budget's $72 million. We get paid $500 to try to do things for your town, okay? These guys, 3 years ago, I was at the hearing that they increased their rate of pay. $7,500, I thought it was less at one point. I thought they had actually taken zero because...
Might have been pre-fiscal
it was.
09.
And then what they did was they bumped their salary up to like $7,500. One of them, the county commissioners, had just gotten elected and said, you know what, he said this in an open meeting. He said, the reason why I need this is because my wife didn't realize how much I was spending on gas to go around the community. And I said, well, that's what you got yourself into when you got elected for this position. They came back and they said, within a year, we have all this legislation to go to the House. And oh, this is going to change everything. We're going to actually do well. We're going to be able to start reining in money for the county, for each of the towns. They didn't pass any legislation whatsoever. And then what did they do? They increased their pay another $7,500 to $15,000. For these three people, it's a shame. It's a slap in the face of every taxpayer. And frankly, our town, along with Plymouth, Hingham, and every other group of communities in this area, it's all based on your value of your land. That's the power that you have in the community as far as a county commissioner. We should get out of it. We are wasting money. We are throwing money away for these bozos so that they can pad their pockets. Now they've increased it 85% to $28,000. They have been running a deficit in the county committee, the county, okay, for the past 3 years. I went to one of their, actually, I've been to a few of them. I've been standing up saying, you should cut this, you should cut that, because they're running a deficit, but they continue to increase. That is such an insult, not just to the taxpayers, it's an insult to every single town. And you know what? I commend Plymouth for standing up, and I hope our board will do the same. We should pull out of the county system. We should ask the governor, and we should ask our representatives to put legislation in to get us out of it and to basically make Plymouth County defunct. I am so insulted for these three buffoons, and I say that because you know what? There's absolutely no justification to increase your pay 85% when your county is on the verge of bankruptcy, and you know, it's a $10 million budget. You know, I am so irate because, you know, one year they had, what was it, a deficit on almost 10%, a deficit of 10% on what they were expecting to come in. They had a deficit, so in other words, it was a $10 million budget, they had $1 million that they were over, and they finally said, well, guess what, we'll change the projections, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. It was such a card game, and I have to tell you, I think the taxpayers of Scituate, if you knew what was going on, you would be so offended. It is such a bad system. And for them to come out and say they want $28,000, Nancy, I feel bad because I'm like, it's a shame. Taxpayers should be irate. You think this is a waste? Let me tell you, that is pork. They are porking the system. They are porking you as a taxpayer. It's awful. I'm totally against that, and I have to tell you.
I definitely want you to do the motion when it comes to
This town should be just... Everybody, the newspapers should be reporting on it. It should be on the news. It should be just to show you the audacity of these three commissioners. I know I'm going off, but I'm telling you, it's audacious for them. They're stealing money, literally from the taxpayers, to pay themselves 85% increase when they can't even keep a balanced budget. That's awful. They should be fired.
Nancy, what's our share that we pay into this?
It's about 88, well, our assessment right now is about $88,000. It's going to go up to about $90,000. But if I can speak to Mr. Dennehy's point, Mr. Chair, I did go back and look at how many meetings per year they had and got you calculated a per meeting price per commissioner. And in fiscal 14, there were 26 meetings, so it was basically $577 per meeting. In fiscal 15, there were 29 meetings, so $517 per meeting. Keep in mind, some of these meetings were one agenda items. In fiscal 16, it was 21 meetings, so $714 per meeting. And so far in fiscal 17, there's been 14 meetings, so they're running around $1,000 a meeting for pay. And 4 of you make $500 a fiscal year, and the chairman gets $1,500 fiscal year. So, if you're thinking of another election in a different place,
Can you imagine if we said to the people of Scituate, increase our rate of pay?
that a motion?
14,000. Can you imagine? All you sitting in here, can you imagine if we did that next week and I said, guess what? Let's increase our rate of $10,000. Let's pay us $10,000. What do you think people would do at town meeting? They'd be hanging us. They'd actually hang us outside. I mean, this is what's crazy. People don't know what's going on in county government. That's the problem.
You're right, John.
Awful. Just awful. And they're going to get away with it. That's what's insulting. They're going to get it passed, and then they're going to get paid $28,000. They could probably increase it to $30,000 until the government goes bankrupt and they finally say to the Commonwealth, you need to fund us for our salaries, is really what it is, because there's nothing else they do. They have an airplane. They have an airplane for $20,000 that they say flies around to take a look to see if there's any fires in the county. They have an air. It's stupidity. It's such a waste. Unbelievable. The plane only goes up like twice a year, too, mind you. So what would the board like to do? Seriously, tell me.
Did you have anything to add, Nancy?
No, I have multiple things that I found in their budget that were of concern, but
Okay.
the
We got
salaries is
quite
the
a-
biggest
The most
quite a lot of
egregious one,
information
yeah.
there, so. Can I have a motion, John?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so couple things, I mean, I agree with a lot of what John said. They do run the Registry of Deeds, that's their major task. And they have had a deficit budget. The chair typically goes to those meetings. And I think this was the first year that they had a balanced budget, at least going into the year. I don't know if they hit it, but I know that they at least had a balance going into the year. You know, I guess the salary portion is, but that can't be the full amount. I mean, there's only 3 people, it's only $30,000. You know, I don't know that the pay is the big...
The big driver for the overall budget?
Yeah. A $10 million budget, we're talking
That's
about...
probably just the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the pay is a significant portion of it. There are some other things that are also going up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that people got, you said the 3 or 4%, these are for the worker bees now. I don't know that they got raises because as John said, they hadn't had a balanced budget for years, so there may have been years of not getting
Right.
increases. But we certainly need an explanation before we vote an increase at that level.
To your point with the Registry of Deeds, and I will say this, the Registry of Deeds is the cash cow. That's what brings in the money. And a year ago, they actually cut the workers at the Registry of Deeds in order to...
Take a week off.
It was just the way they were managing, as opposed to maintaining the cash revenue from the source. They did just the opposite. And I absolutely agree. If they're increasing the pay for the workers in the county, I would wholeheartedly support that. And I have to say, the Registry of Deeds is the only thing that actually generates money. That's what they ended up doing. They said, oh, the registry's going to bring in more money than the other. The other thing that's amazing is they had not filed any tax returns. They never balanced their budget for almost like 7, 8 years. And it's like, how the heck can you do that? It was just egregious. So that's why I say, I mean, my issue with them giving themselves a nice bump is, as far as the workers, absolutely, and maintaining them at the registry, certainly, because they should. So I do not demean the workers for the county. They're good people. They work really hard. They just got really bad people who are their bosses, who should, not the Register of the Deeds. He's a very good person. He knows what he's doing, John Buckley. It's the 3 county commissioners, and if they still have the administrator, who frankly does nothing, he should be fired too.
So what does it mean if we actually vote against this? Does it...
You're just not voting to recommend it. It's the advisory board that would actually vote the budget. And then that would it would send a message to the county commissioners that maybe they need to do a little bit more explaining of their budget and outreach so that people understand what it is they're exactly trying to accomplish. The town of Plymouth, the Plymouth Selectmen had the same concerns about the Registry of Deeds personnel, that there had been layoffs there, so that before there were increases of that type of caliber, those positions should be restored.
Restored, yeah.
Yeah.
And as the advisory board, you probably know this, is that the board that we go sit before, the woman from Norwell, the veteran?
So the advisory board happens to be every selectman from all the towns and cities that vote, if you will, on the budget. They're the legislature, if you will. So
So that's you now.
it's that each town brings one representative, and if you're lucky enough to get on the advisory board, which somehow gets selected by certain people who are very pro-commissioners, that's who gets seated on the advisory board. But you have, you have to get a quorum, and that's your town meeting, and you vote the budget.
But the advisory board are those people that sit up front there,
Right.
That's the
woman
advisory
from
board.
Norwell.
They're the
veteran,
board, the
yeah.
advisory committee, or is the
We're the voting
populace.
one,
You
yeah.
got it, the voting one.
Yeah, because they give you a voting card. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
No, I support sending a message. Not to
I still think we should look in trying to figure out how to withdraw from this. I really do. I mean, how much is it that we generate from them, and how much do we pay them?
We pay them between $88,000 and $90,000,
Yeah,
and we really don't,
we don't get anything
They
out of
spray
it.
mosquitoes.
if you call and
If you pay
request.
them, yeah.
I make a motion, the Board of Selectmen not support the fiscal year 2018 proposed Plymouth County budget.
Second.
Second by Ms. Curran.
I'm glad to see 3 other people. I'd love to make that motion. So,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Ruth, write something up on that. It is such a joke,
I want to talk a little bit more about it.
such a joke.
You're on YouTube right now.
Please. Somehow running ahead tonight.
Good. Post-Easter bliss. Bill Armberger, I'm here tonight. This is Dave Buckley of Toll Brothers and Kevin Klein from Stantec Consulting.
I guess.
And just to update the board, since our last meeting, we actually have filed with the Conservation Commission, and we're anticipating our first meeting to be on May 3rd. In addition to that, we also have at the Barker Tavern this Thursday, it's going to be a public informational meeting, which notice has gone out to all the abutters. It's going to be in the paper. Other things, just to kind of explain everything at the outset.
This Thursday?
Yes, exactly. Just to explain everything at the outset. In other words, to get any commentary and to engage in that aspect. We anticipate that we had a very productive meeting with the town planner, went over a lot of things in town's requirements and things along those lines. We anticipate within the next week or two, we'll also be filing with the planning board to start that process. So, with that said, everything's moving along well, and town department has been super to work with, and really look forward to, getting into the process here. So, I think what we're back here tonight for is we kind of gave a substantive presentation at the last meeting a week ago on how we have a 55 and older active adult community, and we also wanted to, apart from the information, bring the board up to date, is the board has already approved a soil allocation for this, and we demonstrated, and Kevin did scientifically, that actually the soil flow of this is less than what's previously been approved, but albeit we do need permission from the Selectmen to utilize the previously approved soil flow for the revised project, namely 142 townhomes that are active adult, age-restricted, 55 and older, no children residents under the age of 18, plus 10 single-family homes that would sort of be on the east side of Hadley Road. So any other questions or information we can provide that, because I have Kevin and Dave.
Bill, what I'd like to do is, for clarification purposes, just starting with what we had originally approved, can you just go through the math for everybody so we understand where we were as far as the sewer flow capacity and how we're arriving at the numbers that you have now? I just want everybody to be clear and understand that.
You want to do that, Kevin?
Just, the simplest way possible, if you could.
Right. Simplest way possible.
If you could. I mean, I know it's, there's a lot of math and science to it, but...
All right, let me get the exact numbers so we can do this. The original development
Page 2.
I was actually looking for the last.
I just read it. Yeah.
Something like that, last number about more bedrooms.
Okay.
It's like 90, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Had 90.
Yeah, the way it had originally been done, the original development was 90 four-bedroom houses. And the sewer allocation was originally done using the town of Situate.
I'm sorry, 94 houses, right? Not 94 bedroom. 4-bedroom houses, okay.
Yeah.
90 houses.
90 houses times 4 bedrooms.
360 bedrooms.
360 bedrooms.
Yeah.
And the sewer allocation, which came out to 22,487 gallons per day, was based on the town of Situate's flow for a single-family house and an allocation for infiltration and inflow. And we had an allocation of about 5,000 gallons a day for anticipated II. And that's just based on, we anticipate about 1.25 miles of new sewer pipe, 8-inch diameter, and 500 gallons per day per inch mile. So that's how we came out with the original 22,487. When we went back with the new development, it's 10 four-bedroom houses and 142 age-restricted, and it's a mix of 2 and 3 bedroom. The total bedroom count actually goes down to 350 bedrooms.
Including the houses, or?
Yes. Yeah.
So you got 310 plus 40.
It's 10 four-bedroom houses, 116 two-bedroom units, and 26 three-bedroom units. So we end up with 350 bedrooms. And what we did on that is we kind of looked at it in 2 ways. We said, first off, we got less bedrooms, which was a good thing. We then looked at the Title V design flows to try and compare the two. And Title V is typically a maximum daily flow used by the state for designing septic systems. And actual flows are usually somewhere between 40 and 60% of the maximum day. So we looked at the old development, which was 360 bedrooms of single-family houses, and they use 110 gallons per day per bedroom. We then looked at the new development and said, well, you can't use 110 per bedroom because the way they end up going with the age-restricted, it's 150 gallons per day per unit for a 2-bedroom unit, or 110 per bedroom for a 3 or above. And it's essentially because there's less people living in them. So we went back, looked at the design flows using Title V and saw that we were less. We also put in an allocation for the infiltration and inflow, same as we did on the other one. It was originally 1.25 miles. It's now down to just under 1.2 miles of sewer. So a little bit less sewer. So what we ended up with was actually a decrease in flow. And the decrease was about a little over 4,000 gallons a day. We then went in and said, well, the age-restricted will also have a clubhouse. And we've done this on a number of other developments where it's age-restricted, the clubhouse is for the residents, and so we don't typically add a flow to it, an extra allocation, because you're either using facilities at the clubhouse or you're using them at your house. But in this case, we decided, just to be safe and just to totally above board look at it, we looked at what the flows would be if the clubhouse was open to the public, which it isn't, but we were kind of looking at it based on the occupancy of the pool. I took the pickleball courts and called it a tennis club. We looked at the seating and used it as clubhouse seating or lounge seating, and gave an allocation for the clubhouse. And that worked out to be approximately just under 4,000 gallons a day, 3,930. So we added that into the age-restricted and still had less flow than was predicted for the 90 four-bedroom units. And so that's kind of how we worked our way around trying to get there. We looked at the Title V, and then we looked at how to get there, how to compare the two.
When you say less, it's nominally less, right? It's, I mean, 12, it's very close, right?
It's close. Yes, the reduction in average flow was, without the clubhouse, was 4,359 gallons per day. If we throw in an average for the clubhouse of about 2,400, we're still about 1,900 gallons per day less on an average basis. And that's using 60% of the Title V flow for the clubhouse, calculated for the clubhouse.
Right. Well, I think the big factor is the fact that you changed the ratio per house. You know, it was set, you know, you're saying that 55 and older people are going to use it less than a family of 4. So that, I mean, that's the huge factor there. You dropped it from 100 and something to 75 or 750.
We dropped, Title V for a single-family house is 110 gallons per day per bedroom.
Right.
And for a age-restricted, it's 150 gallons per unit.
For 2 bedrooms.
For 2 bedroom or
For a
less.
2-bedroom unit.
Right, so 70, from 110 to 75 per bedroom.
Yes.
I do when Tony's done.
What's the logic behind that, really? I mean, it's a 30% decrease.
I think a lot of it has to do with occupancy. A typical 55 and older is going to have 1.5 people living there. Whereas single-family houses, you're going to have 3 or 4. Title V is looking at maximum days. And when you've got kids, usually have max day where you're going to have a lot of flow, a lot more people there. On your average flow, you probably have 3.5 people living there, 2.5. Well, if you've got 2 kids and 2 adults, you've got at least 4 people living in the house. If you've got more kids on the larger houses, you're going to have more people. And it's just Title V in the state looking at the actual use.
Yeah. I guess if you think about going to the bathroom, that may not be, but if you think about showers and laundry and that sort of stuff is where it probably makes up that difference.
And we had looked at it and said, okay, well, if you figure if you took out the clubhouse, I mean, we still have less bedrooms total.
Right.
That's what we're using 110. It's less bedrooms. And I know, usually the older adults, or adults in general, I mean, yeah, they're going to use the bathroom, they're going to shower, but they're going to take a reasonable shower. I got a 9-year-old that you're going to fight forever to get him in the shower, and then if we don't run out of hot water, he doesn't get out of it.
You got a 9-year-old, I know that for a fact.
Until he gets 20. Marty, can I ask something?
Please, yeah.
Kevin, have you looked at our infrastructure in the area, and how do you intend on tying into it? If we have an 8-inch main or a 10-inch main, can our infrastructure handle this 100 and some odd bedrooms?
Yeah, we had looked at it when we did the original study, and your infrastructure down there, pump stations are getting old, obviously always need maintenance, but I believe the sewer lines were okay with it. We did look right at where we're going to tie in, and there may need to be a little bit of upgrade right there, just because the manhole that we're tying into, when the surveyors went out, they realized that the invert in is 3 inches lower than the invert out, which is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So there will be some work right at the tie-in, but these kind of flows didn't really impact it because that's kind of your main area.
It would all go into one spot, it wouldn't go Hathley and Turner or
It's all
something?
come in one way, down Hadley.
John, do you have anything?
No, I'm fine.
I have one question. Just because it was brought up, and I don't know the process, it was brought up at the last meeting. I don't know what the flexibility is with the planning board to decide whether or not it can be a 55 or plus. So say the planning board says, no, we don't want, it can't be just 55 and older, it needs to be open to everybody. Okay, whatever. How does that impact these numbers? So if these 142 units were just family units and not designated 55 and older, how does that impact?
Well, but what I'd say that, first of all, it's the landowner and the applicant who makes that decision, not any municipal boards. And the reason why we're here is we're asking, as selectmen, that you're approving basically the sewer amount which you previously approved, and asking to approve any more than that.
And that's my question, so...
And also to propose, I had a proposed vote, was saying, asking in accordance with the Stantec proposal. If for some reason, which I can't foresee how this would ever happen, if it was something that's different than that, then you folks haven't approved that development, the utilization for that development.
Okay.
Right. But we gave the sewer capacity because we like the project.
Correct.
You know, we like the 90 houses up in that area, and, you know, people think, you know, that we're taking other people's sewer, which I don't think that's the case. In fact, I think we have to do developments like this because we need the revenue into the enterprise fund.
Right.
But that was part of the reason. We're just not looking, we gave it to you before, we're going to give it to you for this project as
No,
well.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I didn't see, do you have a schematic of what it's going to look like? Because are these 140, I wasn't here last meeting, are the 140 units in the same density as the 90 houses? Or really 80 houses, because 10 of them are staying?
140 is going to be
standing
where
across the street.
the 80 are located.
I'm looking at a picture of
This
it.
isn't the final one, Tony, but better in a nutshell. The houses being...
Right, the houses are
Yeah,
staying down.
that's the east side, that's the west side.
Right. And how high are they? 2 stories, 3 stories? Oh, mix it.
Mix of 2- and 3-story product. Didn't bring the board to me tonight, I apologize, but we'll...
This is big.
Where's the pickle court going? Is that next to the pool? Is that the proposal?
Next to swimming pool?
Yeah, it's next to the swimming pool, yes. There's 2
Is
of
that
them.
okay with you, Joe?
I just
I mean, he's on the fence.
I just had to look up, I had to look up the pickle court.
Just don't hit it long.
It beats the bocce ball court that Pulte was proposing as far as their recreation and entertainment, when they're proposing 250 condo units, all on that property, not on the eastern side, just on the
Bocce,
upland.
too.
Did they have a bocce? I just knew it was...
No,
Oh,
we're
here.
looking at bocce and pickleball.
So they're clusters of 3, or no, some 4, I guess.
Mix of 3s and 4s.
And it's just a townhouse frontage, 3 entrances,
Do you have any
parking
pictures
spots
of
in
them?
front.
With garages, with 2-car garages.
Oh, Bill, maybe similar to the ones over, we'll get you in a second. The ones that Frank Copoy's helped on,
Jack Livingston's project, yeah.
what's the one down,
It's
River
the-
something?
Oh, down on the driftway there?
Yeah, similar to that. I think they have a
No,
garage.
it's more like...
No, these are much better looking.
It's more like the one up on, off of Manlock.
So there'll be a garage on one side, entryway, and 2 or 3.
Yep, so the end units will actually have an entry on the end units will actually be from the side. On the middle units is from the front, adjacent to the garages.
Actually, they look
We
nice.
actually have, and this will be part of our presentation to the planning board, and actually at our meeting this coming Thursday, we actually designed some custom architecture just specifically for this project. One of the little design details on garage doors, we're actually going to be utilizing more of an enhanced architectural style garage door, not to get into the mundane details and the weeds.
Tony, you
here.
actually in the upper right-hand
Yeah,
corner.
John just pointed it out to me. It actually looks very nice.
You should.
This should,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but there is a
Carriage
bit of a
I think the
view
one
of it. Do
thing...
you guys see
Well,
that?
at the public
Yeah, they
meeting
had
on
a thing
Thursday,
where-
everybody can go
Yeah.
and see, too.
So we're not, our purview is not the design and all the other issues, so that social media understands there's some things that were raised that are not part of our purview. Our purview is
Yeah.
dealing with the sewer, and that's it. But I will say, from having been on the zoning board, I strongly recommend, instead of having just a flat garage door, which I know that you've already just indicated, Mr. Buckley, that that's not what you're looking at, you should have some kind of architectural look to it, because otherwise you're just going to see the garage door going up and down, and aesthetically, it's not going to be the most pleasing when you drive through it. Obviously, in the backyard, you're going to have nice views of wetlands and greenlands and everything else, I'm sure, but at least to dress up that first impression, it would be great for you.
Ann, you have a question?
Hold on for a second. So were there, was this always being used by the prior development, this land over here by Wampatuck? Because we had discussions about,
Yeah.
about that land maybe being some sort of recreational area for the development and for the school. Is that, do you remember, Bill?
Well, with the prior proposal, Tony, it was there, one of the things that was said last time is, actually to that area in, I don't know if that's Longley Road that's there or whatever it is, it's only emergency access, so in other words, all the traffic is being routed through the two entrances, one on Hadley Road and one on Tilden Road. So that's just for emergency access vehicles there.
Yeah, I was talking more about the use of the land.
On the original development proposal, there were also houses up there.
There were?
Yeah. I think they were actually accessed off of the public road.
No, but, yeah, but we talked about doing stuff, you know, kind of helping the area out by giving them recreational stuff. I just want to make sure that wasn't the land
No.
that we talked about.
And we
They
did
had
discuss
houses.
that at the last meeting.
Okay.
They'll-
They had houses coming up from
Still committed
Irvine.
to that.
And some house lots here is what they had. I wasn't sure if there's, this area was some discussion, or whether they were just going to be doing some work at the playground.
Yeah, I think they were talking over here. I think we were talking, must be in this green area over here.
Yeah, I think that's environmental land, Tony.
I think it's wetlands.
I think there's a wetland and a vernal pool there.
Can I see that, Tony? Yeah.
And when you look at the layout of the footprint of the townhome, and Dave will certainly correct me if I'm wrong here, but they basically have a base unit or a couple of base units that you can order, and then you can order add-ons. And what we showed on this is all of the potential add-ons. Because when I did my stormwater, we wanted to make sure we had the biggest footprint possible, and then design the stormwater for that. And then if not everyone's going to take the biggest possible, so we actually...
Explain, what do you mean by add-ons? Like, in terms of the size of the
So,
unit?
for an example, we would offer a variety of different style homes with different floor plans, having different square footages per plan. So that is the first variable involved in how big the unit can be. The second variable would be, for an example, let's say you bought Model A, and you wanted to expand your bedroom. Now, we would sell an option that would push the back bedroom line out, say, 10 feet, so you have a little bit bigger of a master bedroom. So that's what, to Kevin's point, he's referring to. So there's two potential variables involved in how big that footprint can ultimately be. What we did on the engineering side, and Kevin did, is we looked at the biggest possible starting point, the biggest possible model, with all the possible extras that can get added that make the footprint bigger and increase the impervious square footage for the calculation, even for the worst-case scenario, knowing very well that it would almost never be in that case. From our experience, it's always somewhere in the middle, but we had to aim for the worst-case scenario, and that's the number that Kevin's working with and has been working with.
So do you not pre-build them? Somebody buys it and then you...
We build,
Build
for
to
the
order.
most part, we will build to order. In the case of a townhome product of this nature, if you sell, say, 2 of the 3 units, sometimes we will spec build, or we call it a quick delivery home, but we will pick something that we think is going to have a high degree of marketability, and we'll build it in order to start the whole unit. But generally speaking, we are build to order.
And I assume you've done analysis that there's a demand for this in this town? I mean, that's a lot of units.
We certainly have, yes.
5 years, I think, what they're anticipating from start to finish.
5 years?
That's what I think you said last time, 5 years?
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
1 second, Ann. Go ahead, Sean.
Just, it might have been discussed a couple of weeks ago, I cannot remember, but you're gonna loop all the water mains, right? Thanks.
The fire department required it.
Right, just, I mean, that's really water and sewer. That's our thing, so.
Yes, Ann, finally.
As I said at the last meeting, I have this thing about 55 and over housing. And I think that if the numbers were to remain the same, your 2-bedroom and your 3-bedroom units, if they were sold to, and there was an article in the Globe not too long ago about housing and how we need to encourage younger people, dual income, no kids. There's no place for them. And in the $375 to $425 market, they're being priced out of existence because those houses do not exist. Many of us in the 55 and older market, myself being one of them, these $500,000 plus made for seniors like myself, it's out of my price range. But if it were to be such that those 116 units were left alone, so that a couple can buy this unit, as soon as they have that one child, they're gone. But they have built up some equity, and they can move on, and that it's a start. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just hoping that when you give your approval for the sewer hookup, it does not include your endorsement of 55 and older. I think I heard John say that it's just for the sewer, it's not for 55 and older. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But we have no,
we can vote on
we
it.
have no control over that, though. It's their, yeah, it's their project.
I understand.
And even if they built the other project, the 90 homes, those weren't going to be homes that were going to be in the price range of that starter.
I understand. I fully understand. Thank you.
Anybody else? Have anything?
No.
Yes, sir.
Ben Bornstein, 99 First Crest Road. I was just curious because the term stormwater was just brought up, so I'm just wanting clarification that all the stormwater will be treated on site and then that's not going into the sewer system, which is being permanent.
It's not our department.
It's a separate system.
Yeah, that's all part of the conservation of planning board files. Has been actually very, very thorough analysis, and that is all going to be reviewed. But the answer is, the question is yes.
It's not our purview. Just
Well, no, the stormwater will not be going into the sewer system.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, it's on the plan that you can see it Thursday, yeah.
Anybody else?
I don't know, I'm thinking.
Okay.
You have any thoughts?
You covered it all.
Interesting. I don't know, I think it's, I mean, we don't have a development like this in town that I'm aware of. Do we have a 55 and over?
Yes, we do.
Yes, there's several.
Or are there?
There's,
I'm not quite there yet.
Meeting House Estates is Doctor's Hill.
Doctor's Hill's the other one, yeah. That's about,
And,
Townhouse?
and also Jack Livingston's.
is Jack's?
Right.
I don't think so.
No, but it's
Wood Pines?
55 and older.
I don't think,
Is it?
I don't think it was. I think it was just the 40B.
Yeah, I think it's 40B.
I think.
Because I know a lot of people in there that are not 50, I don't think they're 55.
Meeting House Lane, Kent Street,
Oh, okay.
Lou Ward's old property.
That's right.
It's needed, there's no doubt about it. That's the reality.
Real nice looking, you know what it is now.
I'm trying to look at just the sewer itself without,
Yeah. Well,
Very nice.
you have to.
Well, the merits are going to be held out between the planning board and all the other committees and the ones we've appointed to do the job to ferret this out. Our job is just water and sewer as commissioners. And like I said, I'm like, you're reducing it. I see how you get to the numbers. It's based on septic flow. It's what you base it on. And the reality, the actual could be different, could be more, could be less. It's just that's what they base it on. And the numbers of bedrooms are going to be less than what was originally proposed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys technically, but we're not copping out. I mean, we don't have to give it to you. We're giving it to you because we like the project, too. If we didn't like the project, then we probably wouldn't give you the sewer.
we haven't voted yet.
No, I mean, if we do. So I think, I think that does come into play. There is a lot of money that we'll get from the hookups that'll be able to, they'll have to replace a pump station, I assume, that's down the street there. I know that's kind of old, and have to go into the infrastructure, but there still will be millions of dollars of revenue from the hookups. There's 150 hookups. And I had one other thought, but it's...
Schools.
Well, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Tony, when you weren't here, if this was a 40B project, what would we be looking at?
That's what I was
could
going to say. Something's going to go up there.
Right, and they have every right to. That's, that's not the best-looking area. I remember being at the Wampatuck School, it must have been with Pulte, probably 15 years ago, when they had an open house of what they were going to be looking at. 3-story structures right behind the people on Marion Road
240
Extension.
units or something?
There were a lot.
250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
250.
I will just say one quick thing. I mean, I wasn't that excited about the 90 homes. I mean, I like this project for getting the 55. I like the project just for the simple fact of the way it's being built. We don't have a lot in town like this, and I think it's again, not forgetting the 55 plus. I mean, I like it.
Is there an affordable component of it, or any of them? No? And I know that there's been some talk, and I know this is completely out of our purview, and we can say it here, the planning board will look into all that sort of stuff, but about the land up there. I know you've done all your due diligence in the past about the quality of the land, and all that will continue, and it'll be verified that it meets all the standards of, the environmental agencies that it needs to report to. But that's been a little bit of a buzz around, again, as it was whenever we went through the first time. All right.
Can I have a motion?
Move the Board of Selectmen approve that its previous vote of January 20th, 2015, to permit Suburban Realty Trust or its nominee to connect to the Town of Scituate sewer system a 90-home development at the 71 acres of land adjacent to Tilden Road, Hadley Road, and Oceanside Drive be revised to allow said sewer connections for 10 single-family dwellings and 142 townhomes in accordance with the proposal to the Board of Selectmen from, is it Stantec Consulting Services, Inc., dated March 22nd, 2017, and presented on April 4th, 2017.
Second?
Second by Mr. Vignani. Further discussion, I just have a question. The only concern I have at all is we're not really stating the number of bedrooms in that. That's the only concern I have.
Did we say the flow would be less?
It's actually,
Well, it's based on the
set
proposal.
forth. That's why I referenced the report. It's in the report.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying because it's not really, whatever, that's...
Aren't we covered because it says stated on, based within the proposal that they provided to us?
Okay.
I would think that would,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Further discussion, anybody? All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Thank you very much.
Unanimous?
Thanks.
Okay, where are we?
Poll hours.
That's the polling hours for annual town election, 5/20/2017.
Let's see, so the hours on May, is it 20th?
May 20th, yeah?
At the Scituate High School are they're proposing from 7 until 5.
And that's a Saturday, right?
Yep.
This is Saturday.
Usually it goes later. Doesn't it usually go to 6?
Sometimes it's at 3, which is a little early.
Oh,
I think those have been non-contested ones, though.
No, they were contested, I know, I ran. I ran.
You running again?
Oh, no. I'm smarter than that.
Sorry.
Is 7 to 5 acceptable? I just remember it being 7 to 7. I don't know why I think that.
Yeah, I think it has been.
Yeah.
What do you think?
7 to noon.
7 to noon?
What did we do last year? Because I thought we did it, we didn't close it at 5.
I got
I would say we
7
closed at
o'clock.
6?
I think we
I think
did
it was 7.
6.
It was either 6 or 7.
It was either 5.
I don't think it was.
I think it was 6.
I don't,
5's good,
Okay,
isn't it?
can't somebody just tell us?
Sometimes there's always a rush,
Good, Sean?
right around
Fine,
5 o'clock,
that's-
5:30.
Fine by me.
this last one was 6?
I think it was.
I think it was 6, too. I don't think it was
6.
5.
I remember standing out in the
I
dark.
did, that's why, and I think the reason was, I didn't say anything because I was like,
It'll be
I
late
didn't
this
want it
year.
at 5 because I figured there might be a rush of people coming in after 5. Some people go to church and they come out and they vote, and I was like, I wish it were later. So you guys moved it, I think moved it to 6, unless it was 5, I don't remember.
Well, what do we want to do? I mean, I think 5's a little too early, but...
I think it is. I'd say 6.
Sean, why don't you make a motion?
Kathy really wanted it 5. Did she talk to you about it? Then she just said there were 2 contested elections.
So the time to count the ballots.
And the absentees, yeah.
But you got to give people time to vote.
Some people get out of work at 5 o'clock.
It's Saturday.
Right, but they can do absentees and...
Most people work on Saturday. Well, you guys decide, I don't.
I think it should be
I'd like to
6.
go to 6. I think it should be 6.
I think it should be 6.
I think if you got to contest
Instead of
it.
going to 7
If it's
o'clock.
uncontested, I'd say shut it down to something like 3, that makes sense.
Right.
But you never know when it's
You gotta
contested.
give people who are working those shifts to get there.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Big turnout.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion, the poll hours for the annual town election to be held on Saturday, May 20th, 2017, at the Scituate High School Gymnasium located at 606 Chief Justice Cushing Way are from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Danahy. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Next, we have a vote for an acceptance of donation from the Scituate Health Services to the Scituate Fire Department. I lost my computer again.
Yeah, just use mine.
So there's been a donation from the Scituate Health Services for a computer, keyboard, and case. That's approximately $1,000, and so in order for us to accept that gift, we have to vote it. So I'll move the Board of Selectmen vote to accept a donation from the Scituate Health Services in the amount of $1,029.67 to the Scituate Fire Department for the purchase of a computer, keyboard, and case.
Second.
Second by Mr. Vignani. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I also would ask that if we could we send a thank you to Pat Sineski of the Scituate Health Services, Lorraine, and saying thank you for the donation to the town. It's greatly appreciated.
Good call.
Okay. Next, we have a discussion and a vote of a Keno monitor at Ronnie Schoen's.
So this is the reverse affirmative vote. You would only vote on this if you were against them getting a Keno license. If you're fine with it, you do nothing.
Okay. I just have one concern that I'd like to voice, and I wish somebody was here, is, I mean, I get coffee there a lot. People pull into the front of the store, they go and grab a coffee and they go. My only concern is a buildup of vehicles in front of the store on that curve while they're in playing Keno. That's the only concern I have.
They already have their license?
I was gonna say, yeah,
No,
they
the
already have a
monitor.
license.
The
That's what-
monitor makes a big difference.
Yeah,
The monitor makes a big difference.
they already have a license, right?
Right, but what
So
happens
if
with the
people
monitor?
stand there and watch?
People hang around like they do down at,
Maybe they can put a TV so you can see them
Scuttlebutt Lounge?
You don't have to get
yeah,
out.
what's another place in town?
Hennessy News.
Yeah, Hennessy.
Yeah.
But Hennessy, they go when they park, they'll be there an hour. I just don't want to see people sitting there for an hour parked on that curve, that's all. It's a bad...
See what happens. Let's see, you know,
That's, I'm just saying.
If it
that's the-
becomes a
you know, I don't
problem-
have a problem with the monitor or anything, but people are going to hang around. They'll play 5 or 6 games, you know?
Well, we do own that.
What, the parking? I mean, we just...
Oh, yeah.
I think if it becomes a problem, we have, because it's town-owned land, that we could then begin to
Yeah,
control it
that should be
by
5-minute
saying-
parking, right, what you're talking about.
Right,
If someone's gonna
exactly.
park, they should park.
There's a lot of guys,
Across the street.
they'll go in and have coffee in the
Yeah,
mornings and they'll
yeah.
park over in the dirt.
that's what I'll do,
I
right?
thought that was a Verizon easement there on that, where the dirt
It
is.
could be, but
Do a lot of other places have that? Have a
Monitor?
Keno?
Hennessy, where people go in for quite a long time. they'll have
No, but
coffee.
do they have the machine?
The monitor.
Isn't
yeah,
there
sure.
one at Situate? Isn't that what they're talking
the
about?
tavern,
Oh, they have one there,
Tavern,
yeah.
yeah.
So is that the one with the TV where the balls come flying out? Is that what we're talking about?
right.
Yeah, and then TK's has one.
Isn't there, there's
got
one on Hadley Road at is it Sam's store,
Back?
the old Bishop's.
Oh,
Keno monitors?
I've never seen it for TK.
Seriously? Okay.
I'm not...
Anyway,
well, I just wouldn't want to not give it to them if other places had it.
Right.
no, I'm not even saying that. I think they should have it. I'm just concerned about the parking right in front of the store, that's all. Because I go there a lot, and it's difficult if somebody's sitting there for half an hour. That's my only point.
Does Jamie's have one?
Yes.
Yes, Jamie has one. I think pretty much everybody does.
Well, I'm not talking restaurants, I'm
Right,
talking
like
more
a store, like Hennessy.
like Reynolds or...
I don't think.
No,
Reynolds does.
Charlie's
think they
doesn't have
have
one, no,
No. And Sand Hills doesn't have one.
they don't.
No.
Just another tool, if they can make a couple of...
Plus, we get paid from it, don't we? Do we get any money from Keno?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion?
So, no, we don't do...
No motion.
I'll move that the Board of Selectmen approve, oh, we don't need to, right? We just let it go. They got it.
Oh, so there's no vote?
We don't have to,
You would vote to object.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, gotcha, we're not objecting. Okay, then we have a discussion of vote on some one-day liquor licenses.
All right.
Move to approve a one-day wine and malt license for tailor-made bartenders for a 50th birthday party at the Scituate Maritime Center on 4/21 from 6 to 10 p.m.
Second.
Second by Ms. Curran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you. It's 3 years from now. Move to approve a one-day wine and malt license for tailor-made bartenders for Sean's 60th birthday party at the Scituate Maritime Center on 5/6/17 from 6 to 10 p.m.
I'll second that.
Second,
Scratch
Mr.
Sean on the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a discussion and a vote on the Irish Easter Rising commemoration. John, what do you want to?
Yeah, I'll just say, on Sunday at 12 o'clock down at the Cole Parkway, the band gazebo, if you will, the band shell, there's going to be a commemoration and declaration of the Easter Uprising. We have a number of invitations out, the Ancient Order of Hibernians. I believe we've asked the General Counsel for the Irish Embassy to come. It's from 12 to 12:30, and then thereafter probably go over to the Mill Wharf. There's going to be some music, there's going to be some speeches, and a nice little fair that we did a year ago, and they were looking to see if we can maybe do this on a regular basis, invite everybody to go. This is a proclamation that, hopefully, if it's agreed to the board, that the chair would be willing to maybe go and read, and that's what it's for. And if anybody else on the board's able to be around on Sunday, please come. It's a nice event. And get ready to sing.
Motion?
Please.
Well, you have to read the proclamation, correct?
No,
No.
the proclamation we read that day.
Oh,
Just
okay.
move to accept the proclamation, I guess.
Move to
I'll make a
accept.
motion.
Go ahead.
There you go. I'll move to accept the Irish Easter Rising proclamation.
Second.
Second by Mr. Vignani. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, the next one we are reading.
Who's the clerk?
Oh, man, this is short this year.
I'm prepared.
God bless.
Are you ready, Mr. Chair? Sure. Okay. Lorraine, you ready?
Yep.
So I am reading the annual Arbor Day proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heat and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the town of Scituate has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting practices. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen for the town of Scituate, do hereby proclaim April 28, 2017 Arbor Day, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, we urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Signed this 18th day of April 2017, the town of Scituate Board of Selectmen.
Moving on to other business.
I'm going to plant a new tree.
Do we have correspondence in?
We do.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy, yeah, not kidding, huh?
Right there, maybe? Is that it?
Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
There's 2 thank you notes.
Yep, there's one from the fire
So is this a thank you
department.
note from Stiles Law? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to follow that, so thank you for
Yeah.
just clarifying that. So we got a nice thank you note sent to Lorraine from Ben Cody from Stiles Law, who has been working on a number of different licensees' applications. Dear Lorraine, please see the attached letter with copies of all the checks to your attention. Your office has been the bright spot of this transaction, very cordial, prompt, and helpful I want to thank you for all of your help, and I look forward to working with you again in the future. Thanks, Benjamin X. Cody.
Nice.
That's nice, Lorraine.
Very nice.
Thank you for being a good face of the Board of Selectmen.
You need to know her, Michelle.
And then there's another one that was addressed to the Board of Selectmen from the town of Rockland. So, dear John, it's actually addressed to John Murphy, but it's from the Board of Selectmen over in the town of Rockland. I apologize. Dear Chief John Murphy, on behalf of the town of Rockland, the Rockland Board of Selectmen has voted to express their sincere gratitude to the Scituate Fire Department for coverage of our station during the 7-alarm fire on Wednesday, March 22nd. As you can see, the fire department is very busy, and your assistance in manning Rockland Station helped to keep the citizens of Rockland safe. Please pass on to those in your department who assisted our thanks and gratitude for their help. Sincerely, Alan Choka, sorry, hope I pronounced that correctly, Town Administrator of Rockland. So that was nice. I think everybody saw that fire on TV, so thank you, Chief and staff, for going out to help that. And then we also have another announcement with regards to the Scituate sister city in France. This is important, so please note that the Sister City Project for France is seeking 12 families from the Scituate area to host 15 to 18-year-old French students. They are due to arrive during the dates of July 9th and July 23rd this year. So if you can reach out and contact Patricia Jacquard, who's president of the SSCP project, please do that, and we'll make sure. How can we get her email out there? I guess I don't want to. Do I want to just say? I don't know that I want to put her email on TV. How do we?
It's on the Facebook.
Is it on the?
Yeah, I think
is it on our Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so
there's a
she's
link
okay.
to it on our town website.
Okay,
as
so
well.
great. All right, so please visit our town website or Facebook page to send a note to Patricia if you're willing to host a French student. It's a great experience for your family. I've never done it, but I hear.
So
I have neighbors that
it's a
have
great
done it. It's
experience.
been
Let's
great.
see you do it, and
Yeah,
then come back and tell us
No,
all
but
about it.
everyone that's done it has really enjoyed it. It's a great opportunity for the kids.
True that.
And that's it for correspondence, correct?
Okay. Approval of some meeting minutes? What do we have? One?
Any other business?
I want to do that first.
Yeah, I can. Do you want to update the board on the meeting with DHCD at all from
Why
last
don't you
week?
do that?
Okay, I'll do that. So Marty and I attended a meeting last week with the Scituate Housing Authority, Senator O'Connor, Representative Cantwell, with the Deputy Secretary of DHCD to help them along in the process for applying for tax credits and whatnot with regards to the new senior housing project that is over in Lawson Green Apartments. So they just really wanted to understand the level of community support, and we shared with them that town meeting is next week and that there's been a lot of favorable reaction to it. And I think what was really compelling to her, and was expressed several times, two things, that the Grantham Group is a highly reputable firm. So I think the SHA did a nice job in with their bid process in choosing them, because DHCD had mentioned what a good firm they are to work with, and very reputable throughout the state. And secondly, that the amount of support from our taxpayers to this project is one of the largest that they've seen, and they're very impressed by it. So we hope it's successful next week to keep the project moving forward. So
Yeah,
it's a good meeting.
She was very impressed, and she's going to really try and babysit the project and try and move it along for us. So I think it was a positive meeting. Good. I really don't have anything. Just go on, John, last.
Yeah, I went to the Council on Disabilities last week. It was a very good meeting. Athena Brodsky was phenomenal. I was very impressed with the way she conducted herself, and Michelle and Megan were there. I told them, they're excited about the transition plan, and I told them that they should come and certainly support our capital plan with respect to the transition plan, and that after the transition plan gets completed, the commission's going to have a lot of information they can utilize to take a look around town, to try to begin to kind of work towards accessibility and making it much more convenient for people. I think it's a very important thing that this town needs to address going forward, and I was very impressed with them. I told them that I think there's some seminars that are coming up, and that, certainly to take a look at it, something we should talk about going forward with respect to the transition plan. Aside from that, don't forget, next Wednesday, it's town annual meeting. It's 7 o'clock at the high school. Last time, we'll probably have it in the gymnasium. We'll have it at the Performing Arts Center thereafter with nice seats and acoustics, so bring all type of hearing devices so you can hear us. It's kind of like the cone of silence from Get Smart, trying to yell and hear things. And then the only other thing is, don't forget, on Saturday, April 29th, Ship Shape Day, come to Town Hall, get your bags, get assignments, go clean up. It's sad to have to say this, but there's a lot of trash that's all over the place. Some of it's inadvertent, stuff flying off cars, maybe windows being rolled down and stuff flying out, and there's some intentional stuff, but let's clean it up and pack it and get it out of here. It's free. It's just your time and effort, and you're doing a good thing for your community. Aside from that, that's it, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I just support John with the Ship Shape. You only have to go for 20 minutes. Bring your kids, pick up a small area, it makes a big difference. And hopefully the weather will be good. You must have talked about the Citizen of the Year Award last week?
Yes.
Yeah, we went to that. That was a great meeting. Marty did a great job, and Les Ball won it, and it was a great event. And this Friday, there's a fundraiser at the Rivershed, kind of music and comedy thing. Steve Sweeney's hosting it, and for
No, I know.
it's a party, so it's a party. We just go to parties. Instead of blank.
No, I'm just trying to think what it's for.
Sorry, I'm like dying to find out what's for.
Steve Sweetie, he's a big...
Yeah, it'll come to me. Actually, my daughter's singing there too, so if you want to go here.
We have to go.
What Marty think of it. And lastly, just the fields are drying up. Baseball's going to be playing out there shortly. Actually, they've had a couple games.
Actually had a game.
And
last week.
Lacrosse and softball. So again, support the local teams and get out and watch the kids play.
And go to that fundraiser on Friday.
Yeah, go to that fundraiser
We don't know
on
what it's
Friday.
for.
Doesn't matter what it's for.
I get a text.
It is a fundraiser, I just can't, for some reason I can't think of what it was for. Sean, do you have anything?
No, I
It's
know.
to support Plymouth County.
Commissioners.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
No, wait, did we approve the minutes? We have to approve the minutes.
Oh, we didn't do this?
No, we did not.
Move the Board of Selectmen approve the meeting minutes of April 4th, 2017.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harris, all those in favor?
Aye.
I don't see it.
Okay, so that's the only ones we have.
Move to adjourn?
Sign
So moved.
documents?
And are there documents to be signed? And signed documents, there you go.
Sean made the motion, Mark,
I moved it.
okay?
Aye.
Aye? Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Aye.